Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Collector's Vault. We are back in the car doing another card talk because it's really the only time I have to get in front of the camera for you guys. So, lots been happening in the last week or so, and I wanted to kind of get some thoughts out. My thoughts on the current state of the collectible market, what's going on mainly with like Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! And Magic a little bit. The main thing is, so right now, I'm sure a lot of people are aware that Pokemon is really going crazy. Like modern Pokemon, it is pretty impossible right now to get cards that you want at good prices. It's all available online, but the prices are insanely high. So here's some things that I'm going to probably say a few things that people don't want to hear, or they're probably going to get mad at me for saying this. I don't know who to truly blame I can't blame one particular party for why cards are so crazy right now. People want to blame the Pokemon Company for not printing enough. People want to blame the people right now are blaming the distributors because there's like a whole scalping theory going around that they are, which it could be very possible. I don't have any proof of this, but then people are blaming at the lower level, blaming people they're blaming the vendors for charging too much, and they're blaming because they're greedy, or they're blaming the scalpers, the investors who buy. They go to the Walmarts and Targets, and they just sit there and camp out and then buy everything when the shelves get stocked. And let me say this right now, this is what people probably don't want to hear. While I do agree that if you are somebody who's doing that, who goes to a Walmart or a Target or a local game store and just buys everything on the shelf because you can, I do think that you're definitely not going to make a lot of friends. I can see why people are allowed to think, oh, well, you're a shitty person for doing that. However, I don't think that you are not allowed to do that. And my whole thing is because, a year ago, but right before this Pokemon craze started to build up again, you could do that. Would you be mad at somebody back then if they were going to look to all the stores where there were cards that were plentiful? No one was complaining about, oh, there's not enough cards for us to buy. If they went and chose to buy more, to buy everything on the shelf, I think no one would even care. I do wonder if that actually was happening, where people were just buying everything before the hype, that have maybe put us in this. I wonder if that would have accelerated the market, and we would have had this current Pokemon craze even sooner. I'm not quite sure. But my theory is that people would have probably not have cared as much because, well, Pokemon at the time wasn't the hot thing. You didn't have everybody who didn't give a shit about Pokemon. Even card stores that dedicated to sports and stuff. Now they all want to buy Pokemon because they know they can make easy money out of it. It's the hot thing to get. And this goes back to, I think, because it's just, how do I say this? You can't blame, but that's my whole point of why you can't blame one individual group. Technically, it's just the way the market is. History repeats itself, and this is something that we saw back during the Sword and Shield era. And I think the pandemic definitely had a few factors because of product shortages and everything. But right now, I don't think Pokemon is just purposefully short printing things. Maybe they are. I don't have any proof of this. But obviously, the allocations to the distributors, then to the vendors, then to local game stores, and just individuals and consumers is a lot lower. It's simple. I think it's just simply supply and demand. That because we've gone back to this mentality of Pokemon is good, Pokemon is hard to get, it's rare, it's easy money. So that demand has just skyrocketed so much that it's the example of like a pizza pie, for example. It's just that everyone wants everyone wants a part of that pie, and there's only so much to go around, But again, last year, the pizza pie was anchovies, and there was plenty of it to go around, and it's everyone got their slice, but there's plenty here. Do you guys want it? Nah, we're good. But now the pizza is different. The mentality has changed. Everyone loves Pokemon again. This pizza is now pepperoni pizza. Oh, everyone wants that. Everyone goes for more slices. And before you know it, there's not enough pizza to go around. There's not enough to go around, and then Slices are cut smaller, like the allocations. They're cut smaller, people get less, and then people get frustrated because, hey, why can I not get the amount of pizza I could have gotten before? Because back then, you're dealing with anchovy pizza, but now that's pepperoni pizza. There's just not enough to go around. Everyone wants it. That's kind of what's going on right now, I think. That's my little food example for all you people who are foodies. And also, one thing I wanted to mention is that, like, crap, I forgot where I was going with this. Oh, I wanted to mention that we are also in an era where, like, being like a consumer of Pokemon, it has become like an actual a job. It has become a actual, like, career you can choose. A big part of that is all because of social media. Now, we saw during, like, especially during, like, Sword and Shield, where everyone wanted to become a YouTuber or a PokeTuber, and they just ripped over and they just wanted to open products that were hard to find, and everyone wanted to go watch them open up boxes. I mean, it's just how it was back then. And what really got popular, and I think this definitely contributed to the amount of products being consumed, whether that's modern, that was, like, being bought at the time, or even vintage. Vintage got affected by this big time. It was the rip and shippers or the box breakers. I'm looking at you. I'm looking at you, casual Yu-Gi stuff. I know you were doing that for Yu-Gi-Oh. A lot of people were. A lot of people were doing it for Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh, Magic. Everyone was making careers out of going on YouTube or social media and going in front of a camera and ripping open products, or getting a box or packs, whatever. People would buy them, and then they would be open live on TV or open live on their on YouTube or Instagram, whatever. And it was a real thing. And now another factor was added to this, and that's rip and shippers through Whatnot. And I really think people don't realize that Whatnot is, well, I don't like Whatnot. It's just personal preference. I'm not a big fan of it. This platform has even further pushed the amount of people. It really has pushed the boundary of creating rip and shippers, being like, yeah, like, this is the job you can do. Like, a lot of people, and I know some people who do it, like, with sports cards. They make a decent amount of money doing Whatnot as a career. Like, just buying cards, buying, like, boxes, whether it's modern or maybe vintage or slightly vintage or whatever, and then they just do rip and ships. But they do box breaks, and box breaks. That's hard to say. Box breaks, and they just sell cards that way. And the thing is, their job requires them to find product. That's a big reason why, especially with Pokemon right now being as crazy as it is, people keep buying, like, even though you would think, like, buying loose packs of stuff is probably not the smartest thing to do, which it's not, because, then you don't know if it's been scaled or, weighed or mapped or whatever. But these box breakers, these Whatnot people, these YouTubers, these Instagram people, they have to have product for their job. Their job is to open up product and sell to people, and, just like any other entrepreneur. But because Whatnot has gotten so big, it's just the consumption rate of sealed product is just massive. We're not saying, I think we saw a real big, it was really big with vintage, because we all know vintage went nuts during COVID. We haven't seen that yet, right? But COVID, vintage, like vintage Pokemon specifically, it has gone up a little bit, but it is still, I think, highly slept on, and we have not seen this big boom just yet, and I'm just waiting for it. And it sucks because, again, right now I'm at a point in my life where I don't just have a bunch of money that can just buy everything I want, and it sucks because I want so many of these vintage cards for my collection still, just for my own personal goals, collecting goals, and I just can't do it right now. And it's only going to get worse, because in a 6-12 months, over a year, I think it's going to happen where vintage will definitely make its move. But, and then maybe the Whatnot people, the streamers, the box breakers on YouTube, they're going to jump on it too and say, well, then let's go just consume more boxes, more ETBs, more collector boxes for Magic, whatever. It'll just consume so much sealed product out of the market. And it's going to make it even harder to get things because there's even rumors of there being maybe some back behind the deals behind the curtains where maybe certain people are going to certain distributors or vendors and saying, look, I will buy everything you have at a good price, but just that way they make money. Then the ripping shippers get it at a good enough deal where then they can make profit ripping and shipping on their social media. And it just makes it, because it happens, and because again we're in a time right now where the allocations are so short, it just decreases the amount of available product for people to consume or even just have just to buy. So I'm sorry for all the casuals out there who are upset that they had to pay a lot of money for cards. Yes, I agree, it sucks, but it's just something you might have to get used to. Again, give it time. History's going to repeat itself. And I don't know when it's going to be. I don't know when we're going to get that one set. I don't think it's going to be anytime this year. Destined Rivals will not be this Pokemon set where, and I don't remember what the set was back in Sword and Shield where Pokemon either just caught up and they just printed just enough where there was plenty of Pokemon cards to go around, and then that just made people realize, oh, these Pokemon products are not as hard to get. And then that drives down the demand because it's not the hot thing. Oh, it goes back to its human instinct. Humans, although you probably don't want to believe it, humans do have an instinctual desire for things that are more rare than usual. It goes back. I remember this is a story I heard when it comes to about gold, where when humans first made gold coins, they used gold, and then when they ran out of gold, they had to mix it, smelt it with other metals, like copper and stuff. And so the coins began to not have as much of a shine. And people wanted the shinier coins. And because they were hard to come by, but there's plenty of this gold copper coins that weren't as shiny, but people wanted the gold stuff. And that desire for, I think it probably is worse than other people, or not worse, but probably some people have this desire more than others. But I believe it is human instinct to always you kind of prefer to have the rare, cooler thing. So that kind of similar mentality and human instinct is definitely being applied now at the market where things are so hard to come by. So all these card shops that didn't give a shit about Pokemon now, hey, this is the cool thing to get. Just buy as much as you want, and people will. They will just say, yep, just buy as much Pokemon as you can right now. But when we get to that point where Pokemon becomes a lot easier to get, and there's plenty of this one set to go around, just watch people start to fall by the wayside. And then these vendors will then have, and distributors, their stockpile increases because no one's buying it as much. And then prices drop just because they have to sell it to pay off their invoices, to make ends meet, to keep the lights on. And then it appears that the Pokemon cards or the Magic and the Yu-Gi-Oh, whatever, the product becomes even less desirable because, well, it's even cheaper now. Oh, prices are dipping. I'm not going to buy something if it's just going to keep getting cheaper and cheaper. And then that's when that's the turning point where, just like in Sword and Shield, Pokemon becomes not as, I don't want to say not as cool, but the non-Pokemon fans go right back to not caring about it anymore. And then Pokemon will be at a point where you can get all the cards you want. And then all the casual people, if you want to buy for yourself or for your family, your kids, it'll be better at that point. And you can get cards whenever you want at more affordable prices. Sadly, we are just not at that point now. We're at the point where the pendulum's in the other direction, and it's at the point where Pokemon is hyped up, and it's desirable, and it's gonna be hard, and you're going to just have to pay premiums to get products, unless you're lucky enough to go to Target and Walmart and get it at MSRP, which again it's gonna be tough. Last year you could have done that, but not this year. It's just the nature of the beast. But like I said, history will repeat itself, and you will be able to get cards at good prices again. It might be something next year. I don't know when it's gonna be. It'll happen. Just watch, and I'll be there just to say I told you so. And back to what I was saying about vintage, I know people want the newest greatest thing. People want their Surging Sparks because they want Pikachu. They want the Prismatic Evolutions because they want Eevee. They want all the Umbreons and everything. And Journey Together and the Team Rocket set. Like, everyone's going to want all the cool new stuff. And I know it's hard to get that, and it sucks that you can't get it. But there's still so much opportunity to get stuff that is still more readily available. There's still a few sets in this Sword and Shield, Scarlet and Violet era that, I mean, they're all expensive right now, but there's still some opportunity to get some good stuff at good prices, and they're nowhere near the Journey Together prices, you know. Even look back to Sword and Shield. There's still a couple sets that are great to get, and they're more affordable. There's probably, even if you are like not so much even a casual, if you are an investor or collector, like investor, you can spend a lot of money on some of these older sets that are probably like between $150-$200 for a box, and they also have a lot of room to grow, and they are available and not $260 like Journey Together, which I don't think it's a good set. That's my personal opinion. But so just food for thought. Like, you're at that point where the opportunities are there. There's less of them to just, triple your money immediately. That's kind of what people. That's what they want. The people just want to be able to triple their money immediately, and that's why going out to get the latest and greatest set at like MSRP or as cheap as possible is how you can just flip your money for as quickly as possible. That's just where we are right now. Give it time; it'll go away. I think that's all I have for right now. I'm about to pull up to my house, so. Thank you guys for watching, and thank you for listening to me ramble about cards. And again, if I triggered anybody with my beliefs or my theories, I apologize. It's just how I feel. Hopefully I'll have something more positive to talk about the next time I do a video, whether it's in my basement, in the car, whatever. All right, so that's enough for now. I'm getting tired. Thanks again for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next video. So take it easy.